Alright, this is effing absurd. I have multiple breaking news stories that I'm gonna wrap into one video for you guys because they all come back to one central topic. Elon Musk and Donald Trump leveraging every single resource at their disposal to try to influence the outcome of the 2024 election, whether it's legal campaign funding or extra legal texts that are impersonating the VP Harris campaign. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are firing on all cylinders to grab power, to try to regain the power that Trump once had, and Elon Musk would effectively become one of the most powerful men in the world. Imagine the richest man in the world having a cabinet position in an administration where the leader is a dumbass who keeps falling asleep. I mean, Elon Musk sort of knows what he's doing, even though his campaign tactics have failed thus far. With 17 days to go, we have no time to waste. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe. We have some articles to break down with titles like Elon Musk's fake sites and fake texts impersonating the Harris campaign. This is a breaking news story that goes along with this one. This is exactly how a Elon Musk funded PAC is micro-targeting Muslims and Jews with opposing messages, essentially to try to stir hate. These are the tactics that Russia uses to stir hate within the USA. We know for a fact that Vladimir Putin has also been micro-targeting certain communities. He wants young men to be depressed and move towards the right. He wants Jews to hate Muslims in America. He wants the opposite. Muslim Americans hate Jewish people. He wants to spread transphobia, Islamophobia, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, all of the above, just in an attempt to destabilize what he deems an adversarial nation. And I guess it makes sense. I mean, if you can target and divide the people, you can then successfully conquer the country without wasting any money on ground troops. And my broader point here is Elon Musk is actively contributing to Vladimir Putin's efforts. I mean, we know that Donald Trump is. We know that Donald Trump made sure his buddy was okay during COVID and even sent him COVID tests, but now Elon Musk is as well. Without further ado, let's lay the groundwork and then let's jump in. First, this article reads, Musk is going all in to elect Trump, and this describes how Elon Musk is planting himself in Pennsylvania, has brought his brain trust to help, and may even knock on doors himself. In the final weeks of the presidential campaign, the richest man in the world has involved himself in the US election in a manner unparalleled in modern history. Before I go on, let me show you this video of Elon Musk's awkward-ass campaigning where Fox Business bails on him mid-video. Watch.
I lived in the city for 3 years. I went to school here. So, I know the state. I'm not
Copy. TW. Wow, that's Elon Musk getting a lot of applause there, TW. He said
Elon Musk made a first appearance, jumping for joy alongside Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, but he has effectively moved his base of operations there in PA. The place he has recently told confidants he believes is a linchpin. It is the tipping point state. He has relentlessly promoted Mr. Trump's candidacy to his 201 million followers on X, not just promoted it using tweets, but he promotes it using AI videos of Kamala Harris saying she's a communist. He spreads conspiracy theories about VP Harris, about Biden, about Nancy Pelosi, about Paul Pelosi. Above all, he is personally steering the actions of a super PAC that he has funded with tens of millions of dollars of his own money to turn out the vote for Mr. Trump. Not just in Pennsylvania, but across the country. He even goes and knocks on doors himself. What is this dude trying to do here? He is desperate. As early as February, Mr. Trump was speaking apocalyptically in private about what he considered the crucial need to defeat President Biden. These days, in private conversations, Mr. Musk is obsessive, almost manic about the stakes of the election and the need for Mr. Trump to win. I have a few conspiracy theories. I do think he's kind of high on his own algorithm, let's say, on X. He constantly reads his own algorithm, and that is causing his brain to rot. We have this article that reads, Musk pushes debunked Dominion voting conspiracy at first Pennsylvania appearance. It's actually unacceptable at this point. Could you imagine if George Soros had bought a social media platform like Facebook and then used that, leveraged that to promote Kamala Harris relentlessly, and then posted AI videos of Donald Trump and tried to trick people into thinking that was real, and then hit the campaign trail and spread conspiracy theories? Republicans would be losing their mind. They already are over George Soros, and he hasn't done any of those things. Could you imagine on top of that if George Soros had an idea to put a chip in people's brains that he was actively working on called Neuralink that describes Elon Musk Musk word for word, yet right-wingers don't care. They all of a sudden have no conspiracy theories when it comes to the billionaire who wants to put chips in people's brains. Maybe he doesn't have your best interest in mind. Billionaire Elon Musk promoted debunked conspiracy theories about election fraud Thursday at the first series of a planned campaign events across Pennsylvania meant to rally the support for former President Donald Trump's campaign. At a town hall hosted at a high school outside Philadelphia, Musk referred to the false conspiracy theory that Dominion voting systems were a part of a plot to rig the U.S. elections in recent years. Honestly, the more campaign events that we see held by Elon Musk and Donald Trump, the more likely they are to lose, in my opinion. I mean, Donald Trump is actively losing votes. He is anti-campaigning when he goes out there. Now, let's watch this clip of Elon Musk getting visibly uncomfortable when speaking to his own people. What I mean by that is that he will constantly rile up conservatives on Twitter. He will constantly push conspiracy theories like his life depends on it. But when he goes in person and somebody pushes a Dominion voting conspiracy theory back, and when somebody offers him a book, he turns very, very uncomfortable. Take a look at when he gets offered this book.
Case right here. Yeah. And the SCOTUS case is just simple. It asks the DOJ to rescind their policy not to investigate election fraud.
Which seems crazy.
We are being blocked.
Yeah, I mean, this DOJ is doing a great. I don't know what. Just take the J out of the name. You know, Department of Injustice.
Good one, good one. Where's the clap track?
What I'd like you to do, Elon, is I don't want to take too much time, and I know this is kind of a shock, but we have a book here, Parallel Election. I have a Supreme Court case.
Yeah.
And I have the federal suits here.
Notice how awkward he gets. He starts rubbing his sweaty hands.
Supreme Court case.
Yeah.
And I have the federal suits here. We've called your people. We've called the people who are supposed to be helping. We have hundreds of people right now ready.
Yeah.
They're out taking videos. They're training poll workers. And we are not getting support from many of the people in the first front rows here. And their pictures, if you want to know who they are in this book.
Well, let's. What I recommend is to post content on the X platform, and then people can argue and say it's right or wrong, but you know.
People in the audience were violently yelling, "Take the book! Take the book!" I'll always go back to this tweet when I see stuff like this. Quote, "I never thought leopards would eat my face," sobs woman who voted for the leopards eating people's faces party. And what I mean is that Elon Musk is visibly uncomfortable when he's confronted with his own vitriolic BS.
If you have videos or evidence, then post them publicly on social media, and then people can, judge for themselves. Exactly.
He's like, "I don't want to get within 5 feet of you, man. I don't want your book." And then if we read this article, it says, in a statement, a Dominion spokesperson disputed numerous aspects of Musk's claims, which Musk said, when you have mail-in ballots and no proof of citizenship, it's almost impossible to prove cheating. There's always this question of, say, the Dominion voting machines. It's weird that this happened, that happened. And Dominion voting, a spokesperson said in response, quote, "Fact, Dominion does not serve Philadelphia County. Fact, Dominion's voting systems are already based on voter-certified paper ballots. Fact, hand counts and audits of such paper ballots have repeatedly proven that Dominion voting machines produce accurate results. These are not matters of opinions. These are verifiable facts." That is a beautiful, beautiful takedown. And this brings us on to this story here. This is exactly how an Elon Musk-funded PAC is micro-targeting Muslims and Jews with opposing messages. The Future Coalition PAC is targeting according to zip code in highly specific ways. This is mind-blowing. So, they send to Muslim communities a pamphlet that says Kamala Harris stands with Israel to try to suppress the vote. And then to Jewish American communities, they send this: two-faced Kamala Harris stands with Palestine, not our ally Israel, in an attempt to stir hatred among both groups. An Elon Musk-funded group called the Future Coalition PAC is targeting Muslim voters in Michigan and Jewish voters in Pennsylvania with diametrically opposed political advertisements about Kamala Harris. In areas of Michigan with relatively large Muslim populations, the Super PAC is painting Harris as a close friend of Israel and showing photos of her Jewish husband, Doug Emhoff. And then in parts of Pennsylvania with relatively large Jewish populations, the ads call Harris anti-Semitic and say she, quote, "supports denying Israel the weapons needed to defeat the Hamas terrorists who massacred thousands," and neither of these are true. Neither of these are true. I've been to Trump rallies and they say that Harris is pro-Hamas. And then I grew up in a Muslim community when they post stuff on their stories saying that VP Harris is pro-Netanyahu. She wants Netanyahu to do whatever he can. No, neither of those things are true. She is walking a fine line. Now, here are two ads created by the Future Coalition PAC. The ad on the left below are being delivered via Snapchat to people in zip codes in Michigan that have many Muslim voters. Honestly, that would probably work. The ad on the right being delivered via Snapchat to people in zip codes in Pennsylvania have many Jewish voters. I could see the same thing working. And people don't want to vote for a candidate that has a controversial stance on their biggest issue. The fact that Future Coalition PAC is sending these opposing messages to different groups of voters was previously reported by Huffington Post, and it's the most cynical strategy of the most 2024 election cycle, which is absolutely true. It's not just cynical, it's borderline evil, and it replicates the propaganda used by both the Nazis, by Vladimir Putin, by Iran. We have foreign agents working within our country to divide us. It's absolutely insane. Have I even gotten to this story? Elon Musk uses fake texts and fake websites impersonating the Harris campaign. This covers the same story, but in a slightly different way. There's deeply cynical, and then there's things which might be illegal. In the first category, we have an Elon Musk funded PAC targeting micro-Jewish and Arab communities, of course. And this story shows how Elon Musk took it one step further. There's deeply cynical, and then there's things which might be illegal. In the first category, we have the story that we just covered, which is Elon Musk funding a PAC that micro-targets Jewish and Arab communities with diametrically opposed ads. But then, what I'm going to say next describes a dark money operation coming from Elon Musk. They have set up fake websites impersonating the Harris campaign using fake policy positions and then send out text messages also impersonating the campaign, which aims to drive voters to that fake site that I just talked about. A lot of potential legal and regulatory questions turn on the word like fake and impersonating, which we'll talk about in a moment. Anna Masaglia broke the story, and she said in late September, they set up a website called Progress 2028, which purports to be Kamala Harris's response or counter to Project 2025. The site is designed to have the general appearance of a Harris site in the sense of being in favor of gun regulation, supportive of gender-affirming care, but with wildly over-the-top versions of those policies. For instance, it calls for minor children to be able to get sex change operations at school without the knowledge of or interface from parents. It calls for a mandatory gun buyback program. I'm going to click on the link and visit the website, but I just want to say before the website pops on screen, what I'm about to show you is fake. It is in no way affiliated with the Kamala campaign. It is a fake Elon Musk run operation, but you guys already know that. So right here, we see a lot of these lists, and it gets increasingly crazy. At first, it says, okay, reducing gun violence. That makes sense. But then it says Kamala will prioritize a nationwide buyback program, and it's unwavering, take bold actions and forces on everybody. Right here, Kamala will protect minors' access to gender-affirming care and ensure that schools provide comprehensive LGBTQI education. And then it says she will remove barriers, allowing youth to get like certain transition care. It's just insane. And it is not true whatsoever. But the more nefarious piece is they then send texts trying to move people over to this very website. This says, did you know Kamala Harris believes LGBTQIA youth deserve access to gender-affirming care and safe, inclusive schools in Grand Rapids? And then they send this link. I mean, is the second part really so bad? Kamala Harris believes LGBTQIA deserve access to safe, inclusive schools. Republicans don't want safe schools. I mean, we know that looking at their gun policy. And Kamala Harris doesn't want 13-year-olds to go get gender transition surgery. That has never been the position of any liberal in America. Now, the position that some people, like I take, is that if you are 17 years old and you've been going to therapy for 3 or 4 years and you have the consensus of a doctor, of your parents, of a board of psychiatrists, if all of these people are saying that yes, you can move on with this next step, who the hell is Donald Trump or who the hell is J.D. Vance or Charlie Kirk to say that you can't do that? It's not my place. I'm not the doctor. I'm not the therapist. Do I think that 12-year-olds should be getting transition surgery? Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. Do I think that a 17-year-old probably knows about themselves more than Donald Trump does? Yes, of course. Now let's get back to the impersonating piece. The texts in the website are clearly meant to make you think that these come from the Harris campaign or perhaps one of its associated committees. States. By the way, this website is talkingpointsmemo.com that I'm reading this from. They refer to our plan. There's no question this is the intent and likely effect. The limited disclaimers say they are paid for by Progress 2028, but the entire effect is to essentially make it seem like it's paid for by Harris for president. And if you said that, if you said that straight up, you'd have a campaign finance violation, but they don't say that straight up. So that means that Elon Musk might have found some legal loopholes, and I'm not surprised. He has a lot of rich ass lawyers. And it's funny because you guys remember when Elon Musk and Donald Trump first started working in politics together? Donald Trump made this post in 2022. It says, "When Elon Musk came to the White House and asked me for help on all of his many subsidized projects, whether it's electric cars that don't drive long enough, driverless cars that crash, or rocket ships to nowhere without which subsidies he'd be worthless, and telling me how he was a big Trump fan and Republican, I could have said drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it." Here we are years later, and Elon Musk is jumping around on stage, stuttering and stumbling while somebody presses him about Dominion voting.
Called the people who are supposed to be helping. We have hundreds of people right now ready.
Yeah.
They're out taking videos, they're training poll workers, and we are not getting support.
This guy doesn't care. He's fake nodding along, and right now he's thinking, I wish I was scrolling through that Twitter algorithm that I love. I also want to get to this part. Did I even talk about Donald Trump yesterday? How this perfectly feeds in. This is a clip of Donald Trump doing a morning hit on Fox and Friends and saying that he's going to tell Rupert Murdoch to stop playing bad ads. Now, this is Donald Trump leveraging his position as somebody who has the entire Republican voter base wrapped around his finger to say, hey, I will tell people to migrate over to Newsmax, over to OAN, over to Newsmax 2, Dan Bongino, whatever the hell, if you guys don't stop running negative ads. It's basically like a mob boss threat. And I don't think Democrats should use the words rigged election, stolen election, election interference. I think it's sloppy to throw them around like that. I didn't like it when certain candidates did that recently after an election. I don't think we should do that. But this is pretty much damn election interference. How is this not election interference? Leveraging your position to interfere with the network by talking to the CEO and the owner to stop playing negative ads in a free market economy? Listen.
You know what the event I have now? No. A very big event. I'm going to see Rupert Murdoch. That's a big event. I don't know if he's thrilled that I say it.
Yeah, please tell him we also thank you.
I'm going to tell him something very simple because I can't talk to anybody else about it. Don't put on negative commercials for 21 days. Don't put them, and don't put on their horrible people that come and lie. I'm going to say, Rupert, please do it this way.
Right.
And then we're going to have a victory because I think everyone wants to have.
And you're going to Outkick. It's a great channel that we have with Tyrus.
Oh, good.
There you go.
He didn't even know where he was going. That's funny. He's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. But they're laughing while he's saying this. He's not joking. This is a dude who has constantly said he wants to strip rights away from the media. I've seen him say before that certain websites need their broadcast licensing stripped away. I want to finish this off by showing you Mark Cuban's words. He's been a great surrogate. He explained this phenomenon that we're seeing with Elon Musk and Donald Trump perfectly.
I got to ask you this about Elon because this is what kind of blows my mind. If you are the CEO of an EV company, and your audience, presumably people who buy EVs because they have some semblance of an understanding about climate change or whatever it is, how does that make sense from a business perspective to go all in to basically not only abandon your core market, but then throw your weight behind a political party for whom climate change isn't even a real concern?
Because having the power to manipulate the most powerful man in the world is far more valuable than any amount of EV sales from Tesla. If you're the wealthiest person in the world and you have control, effective control, you're the puppet master of the president, oh my God, that's about as intoxicating. That is the definition of power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolute.
Absolutely. He said it perfectly, and Elon Musk now has the ear of Donald Trump. His plan is successfully working, and if Donald Trump wins, it will be largely due to Elon Musk's efforts, I do believe. It'll be largely due to these weird schemes where he's impersonating techs. Either way, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you find utility in what I do, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Make sure you have the notification bell on so you don't miss a video, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.